Okay, so welcome to today's video. It's a bit different. Uh, we are outside, which is new. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. I think it's like 7:55, 7:50. Let's check. 7:52. So, uh, good morning. And today we are talking about Mike Babcock. We always talk about how Toronto doesn't have defense, their offense sucks, everything about them sucks, and they should do this in the trades and do that in the trades and pick up these players. But we never blame or talk about Mike Babcock. We always say, whatever. We never really look at him. And it's interesting because you see around the league, you see players and GMs being, coaches and GMs being fired all the time. But we never really talk about Toronto and their coach, Mr. Mike Babcock, because he's so highly praised in everything he's done in his career. But we never talk about him. And I think we should, because it's interesting. He actually isn't that successful. I mean, if you think about it, he missed the playoffs in his first year in Toronto, and then the next season he got there and got eliminated in the first round. Then follow suit, and he's been eliminated ever since. At what point is it enough? What point is it time for Toronto to go, okay, this isn't working clearly. We need to find a new coach. I mean, there is no better coach out there right now. He is the best coach for Toronto. The only other options are very limited. But is it time for Toronto to say, you know what, let's cut ties, let's go? Because I feel this way about a lot of coaches, like Tampa Bay and John Cooper. They had such an amazing run, and then they fail in the playoffs like that. How do you keep a guy like that on your team? Sort of like, it's not because it's not his fault. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that like he has this sort of energy and sort of like you just every time you look at him, you go, okay, well, this is the guy who failed to bring his team to the Stanley Cup Finals after a historic run in the regular season. Sort of something like that. It's kind of like how Washington changed their arena from the Verizon Center to the Capital One Arena, and then guess what? They won the Stanley Cup. So it's like, it's not a superstition, but it's just something you gotta freshen it up, and maybe your new arena will do it, or arena name. I don't know. Small things. But is it time for Toronto to say, that's enough, we're done with Mike Babcock? I honestly, personally don't think that's fair, because I have personal experience watching the Washington Capitals, thinking, okay, we need a new coach or something, and then look what happened. We won the Stanley Cup, and yeah, it's weird. It's an interesting sort of turn of events, and obviously Barry Trotz didn't stay with Washington, and he continued to show how great of a coach he is by going to the Islanders and bringing them to the playoffs. But back to Mike Babcock. No, he should not be relinquished of his duties. I think he should still be there and work towards his goal. And he still has, I think, 4 more years on his contract. And I don't think he has plans to rest and leave without a Stanley Cup, or at least a first round, defeat. He wants to make it to the second round, third round, possibly. I don't know. We'll see what his goals are. But as of right now, it doesn't really fall on Mike Babcock. It falls on the system around him. I think when it falls on Mike Babcock, it comes to being able to adjust on the fly. And we've had, obvious reasons to doubt that, because he hasn't been able to beat Boston twice in a row. And, he struggled here and there with different teams like that he shouldn't, like Ottawa and stuff like that. But he still has 4 years, so I don't think he's done. And I don't think it's fair just to shove him out the door, because, like I said, Washington had Barry Trotz. We did the same thing, just it was the same pattern, but the second round of the playoffs. And then we finally beat it, and we did it. Anyways, so this wasn't the video that I had planned for today. The video that I did have planned won't be out for a while. I have to figure some things out. It's going to be great, but I'll upload little videos like this here and there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little change from what we usually do on the channel. It's different. I don't know. This is a really painful position to sit in, but I'll see you guys in the next one.